fish and chips. Well, it looks almost identical, doesn't it? Your thoughts behind the dish?
Well, I wanted to do like the crispiness on top of the fish, so that's what the crumb on top was for.
Right. And you were hedging your bets, weren't you, between two different ways of cooking the fish?
Yep.
Because there was a certain amount of doubt about whether cooking your fish in the oven
Yep.
was going to get the right result.
So it's time for me to sear my beef. I fill it until it's nice and coated on the outside. Then I get it into the oven. I want to have it medium rare. So I have to be really careful not to overcook my steak.
15 more minutes!
Come on, guys, fire up!
I need to make sure that my herb butter and the fish are the same size, so I put my piece of fish on top of the herb butter and cut into it.
Fishy.
I've chosen to use red emperor today because I love the taste of red emperor and the texture. I know that oven baking it is a little bit different, but I don't know how else to get a crust on top.
So, Khan, why are you baking it rather than frying it?
Because I'm putting the butter on top.
Yep.
Yeah, so if I fry it, then I won't get that crispy top.
OK, good. You've done it before this way?
Yeah.
And it works well?
Yeah.
It doesn't overcook and get...
No, there's definitely no overcooking it. Matt's worried that if I bake my red emperor, it might overcook. I think he's got a point because I need to bake it long enough for the top layer to become crispy, but not too long so that it doesn't overcook the fish. There is literally no margin for error here. I'm doing a backup just in case. So I'm just gonna fry some as a backup. I've got 2 fillets going right now because the baked fish is a little bit of a risk. I'm a bit worried that it might send me into the elimination.
Got a lot of my elements on the go. I've got my corn puree and also mixing some of my char-grilled corn. Got my steak ready to go. I need to check on my beef. I'm just hoping that it's pink in the center and it's medium rare. I'm really worried that this is overcooked. I know the judges absolutely hate overcooked steak, so I'm just going to... I cut it up. Oh no, not good. I'm just freaking out. No, it's over medium rare. It's pretty much well done. I think it's over. I don't know. I'm worried.
Stop touching it.
Maybe I
Just
should
let it
have...
rest, mate.
Maybe this one.
Stop touching it.
Come on, Jess, bit of confidence. You can do this.
Freaking me out.
I hate this beef so much. And I wish it didn't exist. Okay. I'm all over the place. Are you okay? Are you freaking out too?
It's all about this fish. I'm just waiting for this fish. It's in the oven. My crunchy top layer is going to replicate the crunchiness that you get out of fish and chips. If I can't get that to be crispy, it won't be like fish and chips. The breadcrumbs don't seem to be browning. Oh, God. Well, that's cooked really nicely, though, but the top's not crispy. Oh, my God. So I need to make a decision. I've got my second piece of fish as a backup on the pan, but I'm ultimately hoping that my baked fish still works. So I'm turning my oven off and back on to grill, hoping that I don't overcook it and it'll crisp up.
A crunch element for fish and chips is very important. So I'm julienning the potatoes into thin strips and deep frying them. Even though I have a fondant potato, I felt that you should have a crunchy potato to go with it. I have all my elements ready. Cherry tomatoes is to add additional freshness to the dish.
Flavors.
I roll my beef in kale dust and it's ready to be plated up. So stressed out. Got my corn, my peas. I've topped it off with some crispy kale.
Final touches! 1 minute to go!
Come on. 1 minute, guys, come on!
Half minute.
Oh, Sammy, yes.
Ultimately, turning my oven onto the grill setting has paid off. There's definitely a layer of crunch there. I'm so happy. I'm actually going to try this. Oh, that's so yum. I'm really happy with my reinvention of fish and chips. Like, it's got the fish, the potatoes, the crispy element, but if I've undercooked my fish, then the whole thing is ruined. Also, I'm hoping the judges don't think that it's gone too far out there. It's like my fish and chips has broth in it. I've cooked a red emperor in a shellfish and tomato broth with some fondant potatoes.
How did we go against the TV dinner? Fish and chips. Well, it looks almost identical, doesn't it? Your thoughts behind the dish?
Well, I wanted to do like the crispiness on top of the fish, so that's what the crumb on top was for.
Right. And you were hedging your bets, weren't you, between two different ways of cooking the fish?
Yep.
Because there was a certain amount of doubt about whether cooking your fish in the oven
Yep.
was going to get the right result. Yeah, look at that.
It's funny, got a little tingle down my spine when I had the first mouthful. It's just, there is bags of flavour. There's kind of lots of salty, aromatic flavours. You know, when you pour that hot broth over aromatics. I mean, I really love that little crust, that herb crust on the top. I think it's delicious.
Fish cooked perfectly. I was worried about that. Well done. And I just love the way your brain's starting to think. I mean, taking those mussels and pippies, extracting the juices from them and using that juice, because you get this volume-driven flavour.
Yeah, what a lovely, fundamentally really lovely light dish. And that little crunch of the topping on top of the fish, which does reference the fried batter. Absolutely delicious. And I love the fact you've got potatoes to suck it all up.
There's so much going on in there.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work it all out. It's amazing the flavour you've wrung out of that. I think that's very clever. Well done.
Made a pistachio crust snapper with fondant potatoes, crispy potatoes, and I also have a dill and caper sauce, which replicates something like a tartar sauce.
You talked about TV dinners. When was that? Back in Singapore in the...
Yeah, police force.
And what was that?
We will get sometimes fish and chips, sometimes we will get some rice with curry, so
Okay.
it can be anything.
Were there any good ones?
The vegetable curry was not bad. I can still remember.
But not fish and chips.
No fish and chips.
I don't know what's happened this week, because your cooking was always good, but it's just gone to another level again. I love this, different to Khan's, but what's the same is the fish is cooked perfectly. Love that crunchy crust of pistachios. I mean, that is a plate full of flavour.
Much more familiar in terms of territory, and I think probably closer in terms of taste to what we identify as fish and chips. So loads of crunch from the crispy potatoes. The dill and caper sauce does remind you of tartare, and I think that's really clever.
I agree with Matt. I think what you've done cleverly is brought us a version of very easily identifiable fish and chips.
All right, let's get these beef dinners underway. Jess, you're first.
I know the judges absolutely hate overcooked steak. I'm worried that it's completely ruined my whole entire dish. I'm really terrified about this tasting.
Jess, when you saw that, what did you think?
I instantly knew I was doomed today.
That's not catastrophizing anything, is it?
Okay, so what have you cooked?
So it's steak with corn puree, crispy kale, and some potato fondants.
Anything you're concerned about?
Well, I wanted to have it medium rare, but I think it's more medium.
The combination of the sweetness of the corn with the bitterness of the kale dust is wonderful. I love the combination. Like that's an idea worth stealing. It's a marriage made in heaven. That's delicious. The beef's kind of edging down towards the well done side, and if it had been medium rare, it would have been perfect. That's a little bit of a kind of bump in the road for me.
I don't think you should doubt yourself so much. I don't think you certainly shouldn't admit it to us. Because you are only 19 years old and you've got an incredible connection with flavour. You get it, you understand it. You know, because you're great at pastry, you're very technical. Just do the same thing. Why are you guessing with the beef. There's digital thermometers in the
Yes,
in the
yes.
equipment shelves.
Yeah.
Just don't take the guesswork out of it.
But in terms of a savoury dish, you've come on leaps and leaps and leaps and bounds. Well done.
I'm very disappointed that I didn't believe in myself today. And I know there's a lot of exciting flavors in my dish. I'm just hoping those flavors are enough to make up for that one mistake.